Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, and welcome to Garage Ed. You know, we dedicated an entire segment on everything that has to do with electricity and electrical. And why not? Cars are riddled with electronic components from the front to the rear. We talked about voltage, amps, ohms, resistance. We talked about lighting, relays. We talked about everything that has to do with electricity. But you know, it's only as good as the wiring itself, and Rock Auto shipped us everything we need to do the job right and do it right the first time. You can see it right here on the table. We got some wire loom right here. Secure your wires down with these ties. The wire in itself, you actually have a soldering iron so we can do the wire job correctly. One of the coolest tools right here, this is going to hold the wire so we can actually solder it together, and we have all the other tools that we're going to use. Tom, I'm going to need your help, man. You're going to join me on this wiring section. I mean, wiring, it's important on a car.
Yeah, it's fun to use this tool. I'm really excited.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to solder up a joint, but take a look at this graphic. Tom, you go ahead and start stripping that wire. This is pretty cool because there's a couple of different types of wire types. There's the pigtail, there's actually the T-type, and then there's the Western Union to do these things right. We're just going to take a butt connector and put it together and solder one to show you. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it the old school way. You're stripping that one over there. I'm going to use this new tool here from RockAuto.com, and I'm going to probably make you look pretty bad there in 2 seconds. That's the cool thing. This thing right here, this is a wire stripper. So what I did, I put it in there, I stripped it back. Now what I'm doing while you're fussing with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knock out one of these butt connectors right here. And why do I want to do that? Because we're going to make a total solder joint, a little bit different. Maybe, you know, butt connectors are fine, and some of the other wires, rare pairs are fine as well. But this is going to be cool because we're going to take this right here, Tom, and what we're going to do, if you take your wire and your cool tool right there and put it in there, get that in, and then what I'll do is I'll put the butt connector in, and then we're going to put the other end in right here, and then what we can do is we can actually solder this joint, and that's cool because look, it's holding it. So you grab some rosin core solder, and I'll fire up the torch once we get that thing lit. Now, Tom, the solder is actually going to wick to the flame, which is really neat. So if I just come under here and get this hot, you'll see it'll eat that solder here in a heartbeat. Just leave a little pressure. There it goes. It's going to fill that completely up. Now, why are we doing this? Well, we talked about resistance in one of the prior episodes. We don't want any resistance. Come on over this side and just fill her up a little bit. There you go. That'll work. Let me see if I do this without burning you. Beautiful. Now, that's a nice joint right there. Now I can come over here and just kind of cool it for us, just for time's sake, and get it out of there. What do you got for us, Tom?
Got some shrink wrap to make sure it's properly insulated.
And that's huge when we're talking about all this resistance and corrosion and everything going on. So we slip that over the wire like so.
It even matches the color.
Yeah, it matches the color. We didn't have to do that, but we sure did. That's pretty cool. Let me see if I can fire this thing back up and show you how that shrink wrap actually works. So if I just come over and I heat this, man, that's really cool. So look at what we're doing. We're taking away any water, any corrosion right there. And the coolest part about that is, let me put this down here. All right, if you give that joker a tug, don't be afraid of it. That's a soldered joint. That's not coming apart, and you have no resistance.
Right, yeah, better than new.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we use a lot of tools here, let's go check them out on your website.
Sure, I'll show you where to find them.